नियत प्रकाशम गोविंदम आदिपुरुषम तमहं भजामि। चिंतामणि प्रकरसद्मषु कल्पवृक्षलक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। चिंतामणि अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति। अंगानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ति पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ति। आनंद चिन्मय सदु जल विग्रहस्य गोविन्दं आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। चिंतामणि प्रकरसद्मषु कल्पवृक्षलक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मी सहस्रशतसम्भ्रमं सेव्यमानं गोविन्दम् आदिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। 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 चिंतामणि प्रकरसद्मषु कल्पवृक्षलक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तम् चिंतामणि। जय हो राधा Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Mangsa Paribhraja Acharya Stakari Smavati Nam Saraswati Goswami Bhagavad Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, and all glories to assembled Vaishnavi devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisance.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much, Maharaj. Maharaj, thank you so much for being here. My brother is connecting us to YouTube Live, and after that, we may start the class.
Yeah, the internet is not so strong where I am, but when I go offline, I connect again.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Yeah.
Come in.
All right. Are you speaking from Belgium?
No, I'm in Spain for the moment.
Oh, you are in Spain.
Yeah, I'm in Spain.
Okay. Dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Sri Gurudev, all glories to Asamud Vaishnavi devotees, and all glories to His Holiness Bhakti Prabhupada Swami Maharaj. Dear devotees, today we are very much blessed. We have His Holiness with us today to end the busy week. Today is Friday. So, Maharaj, we thank you so much for being here. And Maharaj, if you're ready, we may put the verse on the screen, and you may take it over from here.
Okay.
There are few devotees here now. There are about 9 of us, but devotees will be joining in shortly.
Okay. Good.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Oh. I'm happy to be with you today, and we will discuss today the second canto, the Cosmic Creation, chapter 7, Scheduled Incarnation, text 2, which is now coming on the screen. That if we, yeah, I will first recite the Sanskrit. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yato Uche Ayanayat Suryaman Sujahya Akuti Suno Amaran Atadakshinayam Lokatrayasya Mahatim Arayadachtim Svayambhuvena Manuna Harir It Anukta. Read the translation. The Prajapati first begot Sujahya in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Sujahya begot demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Sujahya, as the Indradev, diminished very great miseries in the three planetary systems, upper, lower, and intermediate. And because he so diminished the miseries of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In order to guard against the invention of unauthorized incarnations of God by the fanciful, less intelligent persons, the name of the father of the bona fide incarnation is also mentioned in the authorized revealed scriptures. No one therefore can be accepted as an incarnation of the Lord if his father's name, as well as the name of the village or place in which he appears, is not mentioned by the authorized scriptures. In the Bhagavad Purana, the name of Kalki incarnation, which is to take place in almost 400,000 years, is mentioned with the name of his father and the name of the village in which he will appear. A sane man, therefore, does not accept a cheap addition of an incarnation without reference to the authorized scriptures. I'll read the verse again. Yato uche ajanayat suryaman sujahya akuti sunur amaranna tadaksinayam lokatrayasya matim marayatahtim Svayambhuvena manuna hariricyanukta. The Prajapati first begot Sujahya in the womb of his wife Akuti, and then Sujahya begot demigods headed by Suyama in the womb of his wife Dakshina. Sujahya as the Indradev diminished very great miseries in the three planetary systems, upper, lower, and intermediate. And because he so diminished the miseries of the universe, he was later called Hari by the great father of mankind, namely Swayambhuva Manu. Om Jnana Timandasya Jansa Salakya Sakshamritamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Chichaitanya manobishtam staptam yena bhutale svamrapakadamyam dadati svapadantikam. Vandeham Shigo Shiyuda Padakamanam Shigam Vaishnavam Sha Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaragnatam Vitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savlutam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shivishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandha Chiyatpate Gopesha Gopka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanashve Vishavani Sutadevi Pranamama Haripriya Pankha Kalpta Vishake Pasanve Vishapatnam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, in the purport of this verse, Prabhupada writes, in order to guard against the invention of unauthorized incarnations of God by the fanciful, less intelligent persons, the name of the Father of the bona fide incarnation is also mentioned in the authorized revealed scriptures. So today we have many bogus gurus and bogus incarnations. People, especially in this age, Kali Yuga, are very misguided. That most people in this age, they are focusing on a place to live and how to get food, and there is no time left for self-realization. But how to distinguish between a real and a bogus incarnation? Here, we can do on the basis of the authority of the Bhagavatam. That, there we go. Sorry for the interruption. But unfortunately, practically no one takes guidance of the Bhagavatam. The Vedic literature tells us how to balance the imbalance of our life. So Krishna gives us a standard through the Vedic literature, and especially the Bhagavatam, what to do, when to do things, how to do things. Even with the scriptures available in this age, most people cannot understand it. And they create their own religion. That we see even in India, like when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was the deputy judge. He was judge, and there was one so-called incarnation, Vishikashena Krishna Swami or something. And he presented him as an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And he was even threatening the British and the British colonists at that time, the British Raj. They came together and what to do with him. And they were thinking he's dangerous. Nobody wanted to deal with him. So they were discussing who can deal with him. And one of the advisors said, yes, you should ask Kedarnath Datta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that he will deal with him. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he dealt with him, he went with soldiers and arrested him because he was presenting himself like an incarnation of Krishna, and that he would have his own rasa dance with young girls, and some sincere but stupid people, they would send their young girls to him. That imagine that was going on. That sincere but stupid. So sincerity is not enough. One must have knowledge. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur arrested him, and he had long hair, and he kept mystic power in his long hair. That we find that also in the Bible. Samson, he was also keeping his mystic power in his hair. But when he was arrested, then the entire, the family of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his wife and himself became very sick, and they were on the verge of leaving their body practically. But the day this false Baba or false Swami was going to be judged, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was, despite his sickness, he was in the court, and he judged this Vishikashen Krishna, so-called incarnation. And he was in jail, and then they cut his hair, and he fell practically lifeless down. His mystic power was gone, and a few days later he left his body. He died in jail. So people are getting cheated on different levels. When Prabhupada was in Moscow, he was discussing with Dr. Potovsky. He said, "What's the difference?" He said to Professor Potovsky that we are accepting Krishna as the supreme authority, and you are accepting Stalin as the authority. So everyone accepts an authority, but Krishna is the only perfect authority. All the other authorities will have defects. This Kali Yuga is entering, and this Kalki is predicted in the scriptures. That's in 427,000 years, because Kali Yuga is 432,000 years, so already 50,000 passed. So it has still to go 427,000 years. That's a long time. But it's described at the end of Kali Yuga. People will just be like animals. There is nothing to eat anymore. They eat each other. So people have no brains anymore. So Kalki will not come at the end just to give class. People have no brains. He will just cut off their heads with his sword. And that will be the mercy, because then they will be liberated, killed by the incarnation of God. So yes, he will be. It's mentioned in the scriptures. Kalki, his father will be Vishnu Yasa, and he will take birth in the Shambhala village in India. So in Bharat you have that village is there If it will not still exist at that time, we don't know. But one can say, how do we know this is true, that Kalki will appear? Well, the Bhagavatam, as 5,000 years ago, predicted, and that's in the Bhagavatam, that Buddha will appear as the in Gautam Buddha. He would appear in Gaya, and his mother is Anjana, and that was before he appeared, and his mother was Anjana. So that's all correct. So we don't need to concoct incarnations. That's very dangerous. But as Kali Yuga progresses, that this will become worse and worse and worse. So yes, therefore, Prahlad Maharaj, he warns, na tevitus vartagatimi vishnam durasi bhairachtamaniya yatayata upaniyamanas tepisdantram damni bada, says people that are entrapped with their consciousness in enjoying material life. And therefore, they have accepted as their leader a goal, a similar bland man attached to external sense objects. And he cannot understand that the goal of life is going back to Godhead by engaging in the service of Lord Vishnu. So we see today so many blind leaders. When you become a devotee and you study the Bhagavatam, you get a different vision of life. And before I joined, I was convinced they went to the moon, and I had great faith in science. By studying the Bhagavatam, it all eroded, gone. Now we are more skeptical. After 50 years, they didn't go to the moon. Why? So many things came at light, which makes the whole thing very doubtful. And science, that what we see in the hospitals, that I went with so many devotees who had to leave their bodies, and all the doctors said, nothing we can do for you. That was the answer. And that's true, nothing they can do for you. So once in Belgium, or somewhere else, there was a strike in the hospital by the doctors. And that day, less people died than usual. Yes, they are trying, but and then you have the Maya Paritagyans of the great so-called scientists. This scientist, Srila Prabhupada said, he spoke many times about his disciple doctors, Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj. Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj from Manipur, that I met him in Mayapur in the GBC meetings many times. Such a sweet devotee. But yes, there was a Nobel Prize winner, and he claimed that consciousness arises by interacting of certain chemicals at a certain stage of life. And Dr. Bhakti Swarup Damodar, he challenged him and asked him, if we give you the chemicals, can you create life? And the Nobel Prize winner said, no, that we cannot do. So it's all talk that we will create life from matter, but it will never happen. It's a post-dated check. So these leaders, they are blind because they don't understand who they are. They are in the body concept of life, and everything is based, our whole educational system is based on this body concept of life. And our whole economic system. You can get a master's in business administration, means a master's in exploiting the material energy and get the best result with the least effort. A master in sense gratification. So that is what we are creating. So as blind men guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another material attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which are made of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. So it's engaging people in activities just for the pleasure of the body and the senses. It is said that in Bhagavad Gita, one who lives only for the pleasure of the senses, Krishna says, he lives in vain for nothing. And people are prepared for next life to become animals in a very sophisticated so-called educational system. So why? Because no knowledge. Because they have a lack of knowledge, they see only the prayas, the enjoyment, no, but they don't know how they came to that human life, what happened before, and they don't see what happens after it. That vision is called Shreyas, understanding the ultimate benefit of life. The goal of life is going back to Godhead, developing love for Krishna. Therefore, they are remaining in the material realm. Prabhupada explains there are 3 levels of happiness. Interesting, 3 levels. Material happiness, spiritual happiness, and devotional happiness. 3 levels. That's mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, in the beginning of Nectar of Devotion, these 3 levels of happiness. So because they are in the body concept of life, they know only about material happiness. But material happiness is factually distress. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. Ye samspasya bhukha dukha evatel jant van de kantya natishramate buddha. If you try to enjoy, you will suffer, the wise have said. And it's not worthwhile. It's temporary. They don't know that you have to pay for every action in the body concept of life. You get a reaction that they think they are enjoying, but they have to pay with suffering. And that's a fact. Someone likes to eat sweets, nice sweets, enjoying, and the day again sweets, and the day after again sweets. In the long run, your liver will be finished, and you get so many diseases by doing that. You will quickly get diabetes and so on. In the long run, it will not work out, this enjoyment. You have to pay at a certain moment, and it's a heavy price. So yes, the blind leaders are not teaching others how to control their senses and come out of the slavery of their senses and mind. So that's not taught by him. That is unknown, no knowledge. So knowledge begins at least with knowledge how to attain liberation. The biggest suffering goes already if you follow the four relative principles. And then attaining liberation. If one attains liberation, one gets the happiness of experience that one is a spirit soul. And that's spiritual. But that's also not the ultimate happiness, spiritual happiness. It's a devotional happiness. Devotional happiness means ananda, unlimited bliss. And that is what we are all after for. We are ananda maya vyasat, pleasure seeking, but we are seeking it on a material platform. The real happiness lies beyond even the platform of Brahman realization, which is spiritual. But then the attraction to Krishna must come. Then you must understand, I'm a servant of Krishna, a part and parcel of Krishna, and develop the relationship with Krishna. And within that relationship there is bhakti ras. There is this enjoyment that comes through devotion, and then one comes to see the ultimate reality. Devotion is required to enter the spiritual world. Devotion is required to know who Krishna is. Bhakti amama abhijanti yavyasat metatva tatumam tatvaturacha vijate tatanantaram. Just by knowing Krishna, you prepare yourself to enter the spiritual world. But blind leaders, they make the problem they prolong your suffering. And people are accustomed to accept so many leaders but a devotee has understood, if a leader is not Krishna conscious, he is a nonsense. He will keep everyone into the body concept of life and prolong the suffering of the person, not only prolong it, aggravate the suffering of the person. So that is, people are misguided. That is the point made here in this purport by Srila Prabhupada. They accept false leaders, whether they are incarnations or mundane leaders, they are also, these so-called leaders are controlled by material nature. And to liberate someone, and that's mentioned in the purport, to liberate someone, one must be on the spiritual platform. One must have knowledge. That knowledge of one's relationship with Krishna. So yes, because otherwise we engage people in the stereotype activities of material life, and we are forced to become engaged in these stereotype activities because of our uncontrolled senses. And if we have uncontrolled senses, we are governed by lust, we cannot understand who Krishna is, and we cannot develop an attraction for Krishna consciousness. That it's clearly said in the Bhagavad Gita 7:28 that only those who have lived a pious life, controlled their senses, they only can get the determination for Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it's not possible. And therefore Prahlad Maharaj says to his father, Materna Krishna parto svatova mitobi patyedhya vratanam. That because your inclinations toward Krishna, they will never come out, Prahlad said to his father. Not by instructions of others, not by your own efforts, not by combination of both. It's not possible, because if one is addicted to sinful life, no possibility that they will never become Krishna conscious. Because Adanda Gopir Vishatam Tamishram, by this Adanda Gopir, by these uncontrolled senses, they are on the way to hell. And therefore, and what do? Going to hell? Punas punas sarvata sarvana. Always the most stereotype activities. Stereotype means the materialist gets up in the morning, and if they are pious, maybe they take a shower. In the West, mostly once a week, that's enough. So they do shower for their deity. Their deity is the body. That's their worshipful Lord, their own body, and they do abhishek. And after that, they offer clothes to their deity, to their body. And then, after that, they offer food to their deity of the body. And then afterward, they go out, proclaim the glories of their deity, of their body. That's their way of doing Sankirtan. It is the materialistic way of life. And that is being taught and this duality of the material world makes us seem enemies and friends, good and bad. This is mine and this is from others. So Prahlad Maharaj said this is a separatist mentality. And we see, I think in the time of Prabhupada, there were in the United Nations maybe 110 nations or something. Now there are much more. They are splitting up more and more, and fighting increases in Kali Yuga, not to stop, all because of this misconception of I and mine. So that is the blind leaders. But worse than these blind leaders, Prabhupada says, yes, there are the Maya Paritaryan, those who are misleading people, who present themselves as incarnations, or who spread philosophies, yeah, you are God, I'm God, everyone is God, everything fine. And people blindly accept this. But the Bhagavatam is very clear. Therefore, we can read in the Bhagavad Gita in the 11th chapter. In the 11th chapter, there you have the universal form. And Arjuna is asking to see this universal form. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, it's not for himself that he wants to see it, but to refute or to prevent in the future that people will present themselves as incarnations. If they present incarnations, themselves as an incarnation, then people can ask, show me your universal form first. Of course, there was an incarnation and someone asked, show me your universal form. And an incarnation, I can only show it if you surrender to me like Arjuna. So they find with words, try to get out of the thing that of Prabhupada said, yet you can ask them to lift Govardhan with a pinky. But no, that they cannot do this. Some mystic yogis can produce some ashes or something, or some little quantity of gold, and people become bewildered, oh, it's God. But they have no idea what God means. That's described in the Bhagavatam, Bhagavan, 6 opulences, that there's not some little mystic power which is insignificant, that in compared to Krishna's powers. So yes, this people can only get knowledge when they become pious and get the mercy of a pure devotee. That is what can save them. And the pure devotee gives them the knowledge of the Bhagavatam. So that is what the Bhagavatam presents us here in this chapter, all these incarnations. It's beautiful, it's a summary of all the incarnations which will be discussed further in the Bhagavatam. And it is an ecstatic chapter, ending at the end with Krishna in Vrindavan, the Brajavasis. So it's amazing. Verse by verse, we hear about incarnations. The previous incarnation was Varadev, I think. So yes, by that we get to know what it means, an incarnation. That if someone is not mentioned in the Bhagavatam, we don't accept. Here's the list. That if someone says you are an incarnation, where are you in the list here? Otherwise, we don't accept that. So this verse is about authority, accepting the authority of the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So our basis of knowledge is Krishna's knowledge. That is our authority, and not what any leader proclaims, so-called leader proclaims in this world. So that was what I could say on this verse. I was just being asked to give the class today a few hours ago. So I did my best to present something. Any questions, comments?
Thank you so much, Maharaj. The first place for accepting within a very short frame of time to be with us, to give us your love and wisdom, and also the beautiful Krishna Katha you shared with us today. Dear devotees, if anyone may have a question, comment, realizations you would want to share, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to speak. Hare Krishna. Maharaj, see, there is one religious preacher. He belongs to Islam, and he has very huge followers, and he knows a lot from the Bible, the Quran, and the Vedic scriptures. Unfortunately, he seemed not to understand them, even though he knows quite a lot. And as you were saying, that if someone is claiming that this or that individual is an incarnation, the name of the parents and the village or the town is going to appear, will be mentioned in the scriptures. And this guy indicates that Vishnu Yash is supposed to be like the parent of this Kalki, is the name of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That is the name of the parents. So in other words, he's trying to say that the Kalki avatar is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because according to the Muslims, he is the last prophet. And he's using the Vedic scriptures to support his ideas, which are not true. So if somebody is speaking from the scriptures and saying that this is what it means, that is what it means, and we know that Kalki is going to appear in the hundreds of thousands of years to come, what should be the stance of a devotee hearing somebody speak like this?
Yeah, first, Kalki Avatar is to appear in 427,000 years.
Yeah.
It's quite a miscalculation. There's 427,000 years. You merely understand something is wrong here. That, but anyway, they invent so many things to support their own motives and their points. And that is disqualification to study the scriptures. That they have motivations, and they find in an indirect way things to connect, but they don't have really the deeper knowledge of all these scriptures. It's not possible to have knowledge of the Vedas, that you must have studied all the Puranas. That cannot even be done in one lifetime. And that we have the essence of all these Puranas in the light of Bhakti. By the grace of the 6 Goswamis and our previous Acharyas, we have this essence. Yes, that these things will happen more and more, and they become very refined. But those who are sincere studying the Bhagavatam and wanting to give up all their material attachment and motivations, they see through that. But it doesn't make sense to fight against the public opinion. People want to be cheated. That instead of fighting against that, we have to preach and give them the Bhagavatam, read the Bhagavatam and become a devotee and give up sinful activities, and then they will be convinced by Krishna within the heart. Sure.
Thank you.
Bring that up. That's a good example of what's happening today.
Yeah.
I have Anadi Nidanam Das.
Yeah, Anadi Nidanam. Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Please. Hare Krishna.
Listen,
Yes, go ahead.
Seems
Maharaj, please accept.
yeah, still muted.
Anadinidanam, you may have to turn off your camera and just speak. Seems you have a weak connection.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, a call came in. That was why.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
my question is, Maharaj, you see, I am of the view that everybody in this material way, indirectly, they are supporting this Krishna consciousness movement. Why? In a sense that even this Zoom meeting that we are having right now, the one who created this app does not have any idea of this movement or has not probably not heard of Krishna consciousness before. And we are using this gadget or this app to do devotional service. And also, for instance, devotees sometimes travel far and near to temples by way of car. So, in my view, I am thinking that everybody, one way or the other, is contributing to this Krishna consciousness, even though not directly. So, for me, I'm not seeing anybody as a coming now. I see everybody as a devotee of the Lord. So, I don't know if this idea or this speculation of mine is right, because I'm trying to treat everybody as devotee now. So I would like to you to clear this speculation of mine as to whether I'm right or not. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. That's a beautiful realization. That is a realization of an Uttam Adhikar and the ultimate reality. Everyone is a devotee of Krishna, but the problem is they have forgotten it. And it's our duty to revive their memory. They are all suffering from spiritual amnesia, that they have forgotten their real identity of a spirit soul and their relationship with Krishna. So it's our duty, their superior consciousness, their higher consciousness, their Krishna consciousness. Of course, many may not want it. They say no, thank you. That's unfortunate. They get opportunity, but they may refuse. And that's a free will of the living entity, because that's why we are here. We didn't want to cooperate with Krishna and his devotees. But anyway, it's our mission to revive their consciousness. And to revive their consciousness, yes, we are making great efforts. Prabhupada said that if we can make 3% of the population Krishna conscious, that will be our greatest success. We cannot expect that everyone will accept it. But those who are fortunate, who are a little pious, they will accept. So the vision is good. Everyone is a servant of Krishna. And at the other side, we must realize that they are not realizing their position, and it's our service to help them. So that's very beautiful. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you so much,
Yes,
Maharaj.
Maharaj, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, it has really has. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Well, Maharaj, if I may add to what you said, I mean, I have nothing else to add, but if anyone speaks like our revered questioner, and if anyone have the belief as our revered questioner said, then the first question is, Maharaj, like you said, this is the realization of Uttama Adhikaris. That means if one thinks and believes that everybody is a devotee of the Lord, then whatever happens to that particular individual from anybody, he should also accept it as good. So if we cannot accept something somebody does to us as good, then we know that there is a difference. There is good and bad. But there are others who see no bad in any situation. If we are not there, we don't have to pretend as if we are there. But even those who are there for the sake of preaching, they don't stay at that level. They see differences. Otherwise, there will be no preaching. If we think like that, then there is no reason to go out there to preach. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, there are 2 points here.
Yeah.
That first, the Uddamadikar, he sees everything as a better servant than him, as a devotee. And that's the vision discussed. But that alone is not sufficient to be an Uddamadikar. The Uddamadikar does not see himself as a devotee, and does see everyone as a better devotee than him. And therefore, an Uttamadikar cannot preach. He must come to the level of a Madhyamadikar, who sees 4 categories of people. He sees Krishna and tries to develop love for Krishna. He knows who are devotees and tries to make friendship with devotees. He preaches to the innocent who are not against Krishna. And he avoids the atheists, those who are against Krishna. And that's the preacher. It is said like Srila Prabhupada was an Uttamadikar who came down to the Madhyam platform, to that platform just to preach. Otherwise you cannot preach, that's true. But we don't have to worry about this too much. There are not so many Uttamadikars. Let us first try to become in this life a Madhyamadikar. Srila Prabhupada said, if we can become a Madhyamadikar, if you can become an admin, try to at least to become a Madhyamadikar by the end of your life. That then you are liberated. That a Madhyamadikar is liberated. That's a high position. Good. Anything else?
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So, anyone else? Okay, we have Kaylee. Please unmute.
Okay. Hi, Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the class. It was really sweet. I do have a question. You mentioned that Krishna is the only authority. So I'm curious how we should relate to the spiritual master, because on one sense, the spiritual master is seen as a representative of Krishna, but then we also see that sometimes spiritual masters can, essentially, in their position, everything they're doing is according to Krishna's arrangement, I believe, but also sometimes we can see like they can fall down, or we can see, maybe not practicing so correctly, like someone might be a spiritual master, but we can see like lust or these things. So how can we understand that kind of relationship?
That's a deep question. I will try to reply it shortly, with the risk that it will invoke more questions on the audience than giving answer. But it's mentioned in the in the 5th verse of Nectar of Instruction. There, Srila speaks about this. One should accept as one spiritual master an Uttam Adhikar, one who is self-realized on the highest platform. And he writes, A Madhyamadikar can also accept disciples, but can bring them only to their level. So, in practice, a spiritual master is a representative of Krishna. It means he repeats the words of Krishna, and he explains them according to his realization, his level of realization. And there, if you have the Uttamadikar, you have the highest level of realization. Therefore, a preacher or a spiritual master in our movement represents Prabhupada, and they should only explain Prabhupada's instructions and according to the Siddhanta. And then they are representing, if they are representing Srila Prabhupada according to the right Siddhanta, then they are bona fide spiritual masters. That if they are not doing that, then there is a problem. So it's therefore the disciple, before choosing a spiritual master, must test the spiritual master and see on what level it is. That is the responsibility of the disciple, and the spiritual master must test the disciple also. If the disciple is sincere, if the disciple wants to give up sense gratification and sex life and so on, that's and follow the four regulative principles. So this is part of the Guru Tattva, and that is somewhat the essence of it. Harishakra Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for the answer. And Kaylee, thank you so much for the question. And in fact, it's so beautiful the way you put the question. Thank you so much. Harishakra Prabhu, please, you may unmute.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank
Hare
you very much.
Krishna.
Thank you very much. All glory to you, all glory to Prabhupada. Um, there's something that we usually hear devotees say, that if the world leaders, and during your class you also mentioned it today too, that if the leaders of the world, if they become Krishna conscious, then there will be happiness, there will be peace in the world. Yeah, but if that is really true, then how is it that we ourselves, like our temples being like a model of a community. We know our leaders are either Krishna conscious or trying to be Krishna conscious. But many a time, even in our own temples, we don't see that type of happiness most of the time. So what is going wrong? Does that mean the leadership there is not Krishna conscious, or what? Why are we not seeing the happiness being manifested in our own little community?
Yes, that's a good question. That to be happy in Krishna consciousness, one must feel satisfied. Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavad Gita 10:9, that's the verse, Machita Machata Prana Bodhyantas Praspram Katyam Samam Nityam Tushanti Sharamantasha. That the devotees, they discuss about Krishna amongst one another, and they relish and get great satisfaction and bliss from that. So in the purport, if you go down a little in the purport, the first lines, it's further. Here, in the preliminary stage of the Vaishnava service, they relish the transcendental pleasure from the service itself. And in the mature stage, they are actually situated in love of Godhead. Mostly if we are not feeling happy, we are certainly not in love of Godhead. And we are also not getting satisfaction from the service itself. That's the problem. Get satisfaction from the service itself. Then that brings up the question, how do we get satisfaction from the service itself? By doing it with the right motivation. The heart may be impure, that's no problem, but the motivation must be pure. Only to please Krishna favorably, and doing that 24 hours a day. So what's our motivation we do things with? If we do things to become happy in this world, it will not work. That satisfaction will not be there. If we do it solely to please Krishna or Srila Prabhupada, then you will feel satisfaction. And if that satisfaction is not there, it means our motivation is not right. And our motivation is mostly not right because we are not following the process properly. What does it mean to follow the process properly? You must do 4 things every day. Follow the regulative principles, chant your rounds with great attention without offenses. Hear the Bhagavatam and do service just to please Krishna. If we do these 4 things, because each supports each other. If you miss one of these 4, then that satisfaction will not be cultivated. If you do sometimes sinful activities, you will not derive your satisfaction from your service. If you are not chanting your rounds properly or without attention, the satisfaction will not be there. That if you are not hearing the Bhagavatam, then your knowledge and your relationship with Krishna will not develop. It will be difficult. And the service should be done not to get something out of it. If we are practicing it properly, the satisfaction will come. And that's the problem many times. One may be a leader in ISKCON and not feel that satisfaction because the motivation is not right. Or one may be a beginner and feel satisfied because the motivation is right. So that is a point. Of course, there may be many other causes, but this is a main cause of not getting the satisfaction. That's what I could say. As far as Krishna inspired me to that point, because I'm not the ultimate authority. It's the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada, and all these great devotees in this movement. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Maharaj,
Yes,
Maharaj, if I can get a little bit clarification also. So, if I understood the answer you gave properly, then it means that if even the leader, even the leader is Krishna conscious, but we the followers, we the people who are under that leadership, if we are not following properly, then there will still not be no happiness. Is that right?
Well, it's not black and white. It's not no. But our satisfaction will not be complete. Will not be deep.
Okay.
It's not black and white.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I am really particularly thankful to Mother Kaylee's question, and I am also very appreciative and thankful to you, Maharaj, for the answer, because this concern has come out every now and then, here and there, that only Uttama Adhikari can take the disciple back to Godhead. And some of us, particularly myself, I say that yes, that is the case, but there is a slight difference about that in ISKCON. Because I heard one time somebody asked a question to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. And Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said that, yes, of course, he was saying this of himself, that yes, I am a guru. I have my own disciples, but I am not independent. I am still under Srila Prabhupada. I cannot just do anything I want. I still have to follow what Srila Prabhupada has asked us to do. So, in effect, the understanding is that even though I am sitting here, I am a Diksha disciple who is different from Srila Prabhupada. But whether my guru, my Diksha guru, is an Uttama or not Uttama, as long as that guru is repeating what Srila Prabhupada has said and teaching me what Srila Prabhupada has taught him and the world, and I follow it, there is a possibility of me going back home. And I think that is what I got from you too, because that is my understanding.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that some people have said so many things to confuse lots of ISKCON devotees that in today's world, ISKCON does not have an Uttama Adhikari Guru. So nobody can save you. And some devotees who are very weak-hearted are leaving ISKCON. But that is a very wrong conception. That is not my understanding. So I say thank you so much for the explanation you gave. And hopefully we all will stay in Srila Prabhupada's house, ISKCON.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. I'm
Thank you so much,
looking
Maharaj.
forward to serve you again in the future.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Maharaj, I'm sorry, there is one hand up. I don't know if you have 1-2 minutes to take. Okay, and so this is going to be the last exchange. Maharaj has to leave. And I didn't need please unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for giving me the opportunity once again. There is this information I heard from one senior devotee recently, that if one is unable to take second initiation, going back home, back to Godhead is very difficult. Why? Because in Krishna Loka, they don't chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we chant Gayatri Mantra. So therefore, if one is unable to take second initiation, going back home, back to Godhead is very, very difficult. So I would like you to clear this doubt of mine. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, to go back to Godhead, second initiation is not required. Nothing to do with it. But if one receives second initiation, that does not mean that one is a Brahman. If one receives second initiation, it means that the spiritual master has observed the disciple and thinks in the future this devotee can develop the Brahminical qualities sufficiently to come to the Brahminical platform. The real Brahminical platform is a platform of liberation. It's Brahma Bhuta. Brahma Bhuta Pashanatmana Shusina Kankshati Samsraveshu Bhutashu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. One does not lament, one does not hanker, one is always peaceful in all circumstances, undisturbed. That's a Brahman. And there are no such qualified Brahmins in Kali Yuga. But we try to come to that platform. We should take a more humble position that trying to become to that platform, to the Brahminical platform, that so one one is a good candidate to develop these. And one get a Gayatri Chantra mantra, but you get that in the beginning, you chant a mantra and you don't feel much effect because you are not yet on a spiritual platform. But as you mature, the chanting will become different. But if one gets second initiation or not, if one chants the holy name, one will become purified and transcends even the platform of Brahman if one develops love for God. So it doesn't depend on second initiation. Why is there second initiation in ISKCON? You need second initiation to perform deity worship. That's the most important. Without Brahman initiation, you cannot. But that does not mean that we are Brahmins, but we follow the lifestyle of a Brahmin and we do our best to advance towards the Brahminical status. I hope that clarifies. Thank you very much.
Yes, all right, yeah. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jai Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I mean, because of time, Maharaj spoke briefly, but I will look for the lecture and share with the devotees. His Holiness Bhakti Charuswami Maharaj has an in-depth answer to this same question, wherein Maharaj says, Hare Krishna mantra is called Maha Mantra. There is no mantra greater than Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And the first Harinam initiation is enough to take one home back to Godhead. But I'll look for the lecture and then share with the witness. It's a very interesting lecture. And thank you so much, Maharaj, for being with us, even though it was a very short, brief moment. We requested you to speak. We can't thank you enough. So, dear devotees, please, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute, and we all chant the loudest Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to His Holiness Bhakti Prabhav Swami being here and sharing his love with us. Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare
Rama Hare Hare Kapatarudyascha Kirtanam Pavanyo